Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It is so good to be with you. While I'm sitting here, I've been meditating on the mystical Ankh today. This is one of my favorite sacred symbols. Probably after the pentacle, my favorite symbol is the Ankh. And this, as you can see, is a beautiful blue aquamarine crystal in it. I just love it. I've always associated the color like blue and aquamarine, kind of aqua blue, with the goddess Isis. And as many of you know, I have a great love for the goddess Isis. And today I've been meditating on the goddess and wearing the Ankh and looking at this beautiful blue crystal. We're going to talk more about the Ankh next week, but today I just wanted to show you that I've been wearing it and meditating on it. It's just helped me be in a spiritually focused place today. Well, here we are. It's our Saturday night seance, and I'm so glad you guys are here. And I want to say welcome to the new people. We've had a lot of new subs this week at Spirit Channel. Welcome to our channel. For the newbies, this is our Saturday tradition. We all gather here, a little sitting, a spiritualist seance. During the seance, I go into trance, and the spirit entities speak through me. And if you've never seen channeling, it may seem a little strange at first, but you'll get used to it. The spirit guides, what they do is they overshadow my consciousness and take temporary control of my vocal cords, and they speak through me. And it's nothing dangerous or scary, but it is interesting. You know, as many of you know have been here, you know, a lot of times Fletcher, you hear when he a lot of times talks about the soul glow, and he always says there's soul glow here tonight. I always thought that was kind of cool when he said that. But I have to tell you, this is what's really cool is I have been reading this book by Clifford Bias. He was a medium during the 1930s. And this is a book on trumpet mediumship, which we will talk more about in the coming weeks. But there's a thing in here. It's a chapter on, he says, what every student should know. And it's about mediumship. And I just found this really interesting phrase in here. And it says, here, I'm going to read this to you. This is on page 37 of chapter 6, what every student should know. And it says, aspirants to mediumship, by their prayers and sincere thoughts, send out for themselves a psychic emanation which is perceptible as light to spiritual entities. And it's underscored here. It's really cool. Look at this. See the word light right there, underscored. I think it's fascinating. As light to spiritual entities. This light at once attracts spirits whose desire to either communicate with the physical world or help others to make contact. Now this is fascinating because I just read this and I've never seen this put in a book before, but my own guides who've channeled to me have talked about the light that's present at our seances. And I just think that's always so fascinating because when I go back and listen to the channeling tapes, I'm like, this is interesting. They say this. And here it is in this book describing it. I've never read this book. So it's just kind of interesting. I want to share it with you. And, you know, what makes me happy about reading that is that, you know, I feel like the people who gathered our seances really are light workers. You always tell the spirit people, bring the people who are ready for whatever you have to offer. And it seems we get a lot of wonderful people here each week at the seance. So this is a testimony. It proves that the light that the spirits are talking about is gathering. Now this book was written in the 1930s, okay? And here it is, 2017. And you all have heard, you know, if you've been listening for several weeks, a lot of times they talk about the light of our group. They can feel the light as we gather. Even though we're in different places, we're unified spiritually, and the light is present. And here they talk about the light that the entities see at the seances, and they use that light. So what that means is we're all in it together. So it's not just Psychic Bob channeling. All of us together open the channel. Isn't that wonderful? So your presence here at the seance each week is a powerful, powerful presence. And I want to welcome you. Well, I'm going to sit down and go into trance tonight. We're going to see what the spirit people have. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. I'm drinking water, by the way. This is not Coke. You know, whenever I was in training for mediumship, my teachers used to always keep a big glass of water on the table, keep a bowl of water. it raises the power for the spirits. And it's really true. So if you're at home, you're developing mediumship, keep water around you as you work, okay? All right, well, I'm going to go into trance. I'm going to take the lights down, and I'll see you when I get back. Oh, this is Fletcher here. Well, we heard our medium talking about that soul glow, and I got to say, the light is really strong here tonight with all of you. We can feel your vibration as you're gathering, and your consciousness are united. No matter where you are in the world, you're here in our circle with all of us tonight, and we're so glad that you're here with us. Well, we've got some people who want to be speaking tonight, so they'll be stepping from the body. This is Fletcher, over and out. Yes, I must say that I'm in very much agreement with our medium here. It is true that there is a perceptible light that can be seen and felt and used here. In our world, everything is based upon spiritual vibration. The brighter the light, the higher the vibration. And in the spirit world, the light goes from glory to glory, and the brightness is far beyond that which human eyes can accept or perceive. In the earthly realm, if one were to look at the sun for a long time, one's eyes should be damaged by the light rays. The spiritual eyes, though, are not limited in the way that the physical eyes are, and the light that they perceive is far brighter, far more brilliant, and can reach a vaster array than any earthly light. When we look upon the earthly sun, we see it as, well, really, truthfully, rather dim and dull compared to our world. It would be the equivalent, for example, have you seen the small little bulbs? I believe they're called 40-watt bulbs, little candlelight bulbs. These lights emit about 40 watts of light. That would be the equivalent of your earthly sun, whereas the spiritual light is like 1,000,000-watt halogen light. Have you seen the brilliance of halogen lamps? They glow with an unearthly brilliance. If you want to understand the light of the spirit world, look at a halogen lamp. Their brilliance begins to approximate somewhat of the light that is seen here. But in our world, that light is not perceived as a painful brightness, at least not for eyes that are prepared for it. In the earthly sphere, the brightest you can accept is looking briefly at the sun. And if you were to come into the spiritual world with your earthly body, instantly your eyes would be destroyed by the brilliance here. But do not worry of that, for your spiritual eyes would take over and then begin to see. The spiritual eyes can perceive a level of brilliance that is beyond anything that you can fathom. Try to understand that in the spirit world, there is no limit to the amount of expansion of light, expansion of glory. There are souls here that shine 1,000,000 times brighter than your earthly sun. And were such souls to stand near your sun, the sun would pale in comparison and would be like a small dim candle on a birthday cake. Please understand this light is meant for those who are prepared for it. In the spirit world, you will not be exposed to levels of light more than you can accept and receive. It is true that if a soul that were unprepared were thrust into the very highest of lights, they should become evaporated in the light. It is for this purpose that gradually souls awaken and are raised in their vibration. Over here, as you develop your spirit, as you learn the gifts of empathy, as you learn the gifts of kindness, and the gifts of forgiveness and forbearance, as you seek to make peace with your fellow man, then your light quotient increases. There are those on earth who speak of this term, the light quotient of the body. And what this really means is that within your physical apparatus exists your spirit, and your spirit is a spirit of light. And as you grow in your goodness, your light grows with you. Therefore, no amount of good effort, no amount of spiritual enlightenment is ever wasted. There are those upon the earth who would criticize those who follow a spiritual life. And they would say these people waste their time believing in God, believing in prayer, believing in goodness to the fellow humans. They would call you a fool and wasted of your life. These people operate from a material perspective, believing that the material world is all that there is. Do not be deceived by those who cannot perceive the spiritual light. They know not of what they speak, nor will they be of any assistance to you. Set aside their criticisms and journey upon your own soul journey, and in so doing you will open your mind and your heart and your spirit to the very essence of who it is and what it is. At your very core you are beings of light, and this light that is within you is your true self. You do come as children of God into the earth, though many of you forget your position and you veil your consciousness in less than, shall we say, glorified mindsets. If you knew who you were, you would put aside pettiness and selfishness and hatreds. The earth would not know war were spiritual principles enacted. It is when people forget who they are and become fearful of losing this life that they become possessive, wanting power, wanting control. They claim that they seek security, but really they operate in fear of the loss of that which they perceive as their only reality. Spiritual people have no fear of death, for they know that the soul is imperishable. Please understand that the light cannot be destroyed by darkness. I was not in my lifetime particularly a reader of the Bible, but there is a passage which I think is most true in the book of John, Gospel of John. It says, "The light shone in the darkness, and the darkness could not overtake it." And this is true, that divine light shines in even the darkest regions of the universe, and the darkness cannot overtake it. There are many of you here tonight who feel as if you are walking in the valley of darkness. If you have that fear that you are going into oblivion, that you're losing your home, your job, your life upon the earth, try to call upon the higher power. If you work with our world will bring the light to you. Those of us who dwell in the spirit world, we seek always to bring light and goodness to those upon the earth. You will not be left without your light. It is your birthright. Each of you truly are children of the divine, and as such you have the right to name your right, your birthright, to claim it in all fullness. Perhaps you're somebody who finds yourself in the place of emptiness, feeling that you have made a waste of your life. Perhaps you've become addicted to alcohol. Perhaps you've become addicted to drugs. Perhaps you've abandoned those who love you and turned upon them. My dears, do not let that darkness overtake you. Turn into the light and let the light of the Spirit guide you back onto the path. It is very true that no soul is ever lost. No matter how far you feel you have gone away from the light, you can't return. All of you are children of the Most High. Over here, when we speak of God, we refer to God as infinite intelligence. It is the great mind, the concept of consciousness that animates and sustains all life. There is nowhere that infinite intelligence is not reaching and is not present. You may say, but I feel abandoned, I do not feel God around me. My dears, do not let that be your truth. Infinite intelligence is about you always. It dwells within you. There is no place that you can go that you will not be in line with infinite intelligence. Try to embrace the higher power. Do not look upon yourself as unworthy. You may say, but Alfred, I've done so much evil. Let me tell you from my own experience. In my own life, in my latter years, I drifted far from God. As many of you know my story, I became enamored of opiates and of alcohol and degrading behaviors. And it was this that pushed me away from the light. But even in my purgatorial darkness that I found myself in upon death, even then the light reached out to me and gave me an opportunity to embrace it. You do not have to go to the place of outer darkness to see the light. In your own darkness where you are, you can call upon it. Do not say, I am a hopeless being, that I would not be accepted. There is not one soul that is incarnate, that is ever lost to our world. Because of human free will, you can choose to walk away from the light. You can choose to be in your own prison cell of darkness. It is your right and your ability if you should choose this. But it is our will of the spirit world that you will come back to our home and you will awaken again and begin on your journey. Do not wait until death as I had to start again. In my earthly life I had many opportunities for greatness, many opportunities to progress in the light. And it was my own selfishness and ignorance that turned me towards the darkness. Do not be as I was. Do not let that light shine inside you. Do not let it be extinguished. But the truth of the matter is that no internal light can be extinguished, though it can be greatly dimmed. Do not let your light be dimmed. If you feel that you are alone and in your place of degradation, and you think that no one could love you, know that those of us who reside on the edge of the spirit world, and this is where we are between both worlds frequently, always on the edge of the etheric. We will help you, we will guide you back, and we surely do love you as one of our own. You are never forgotten nor abandoned, and please accept our love. There's somebody else who wishes to speak. Fletcher says, I must step from our medium's body. My name is Alfred. Oh, there we are. I think we're in the body. Greetings, my dears. This is Rose. Oh, it's such a blessing to be here. I could not help but listen in as Alfred was speaking, and I must say, oh, the words that he has said are so profound. The words are so wise. You know, over here in the spirit world, it's a place of learning. We're always able to grow our minds, our consciousness. The true joy of life in the spirit world is that learning never ends. Every time one thinks one has attained all the light and knowledge that one can, there comes a new doorway open with a new vista of light and new knowledge to be acquired. Over here, it is true that we are forever students. There are many great souls here who we look to and we call them masters. And we say, wow, that master, he glows with such brilliance. And someday we all hope to, and we aspire really to be like that. You know, we hope that we shall attain that level. And you see, over here in the spirit world, no hope is ever lost. For every day we grow a little more. There is no darkness here, meaning that we do not get set backwards. We do not lose our hope here. The fear and the negativity belong to the earth realm. And for those of you who dwell in the earth realm, do know that it is a place of particular challenge and peculiar struggle. This is why you easily have access to our world. Our world is always present for you, and you can call upon us. Those of us here in the spirit world, we look upon those of you on the earth with great admiration. We say, my, they're heroes. They go into that realm. Many of you on the earth have found that you do great work in helping wayward souls. Some of you help those who are down and out in the earth sphere. Some of you have family and friends who, like Alfred during his lifetime, was addicted to drugs and alcohol. And some of you on earth help pull people out of that misery and set them on the path. You are no less light workers than those of us in the spirit world. In fact, we think of you as our heroes, for those of us who reside here oftentimes can only but do so much in the earth, and we do count upon you to reach out and be the hands that help. As Alfred has said, there is no one upon the earth who is ever forgotten to our world. If you feel despondent, call on us. Say, Rose, come and help me, and certainly I shall be there. You can call upon Alfred or Fletcher, any of us. Each of you also have your own unique guardian angels, and if you do not know their name, just say, Guardian angel dear, will you come and help me? And surely an angel's wing will brush upon your shoulder, and you will know that you are not alone. I think the greatest sorrow that we see when we look upon the earth are that there are many humans who feel that they are alone. They feel that there is no love for them, and somehow they've been abandoned. This is a mistake, my dear. No one is ever abandoned by our world. It is true that the people of the earth, many of the worldly people, those who have forgotten the spiritual light, often do times act with, how should we say it, with less than respect towards those who are suffering. The lack of compassion does have us concerned, but we are always present in reaching out to bring the light to each of you. So please understand, as Alfred has said, as this medium has also said, and has read to you, we listened to the reading today, most fascinating, for we've always said the light is around. You know, during my earthly life, I remember my neighbor Madge used to talk about the light of the spirit world. It was a bit lost on me at the time, I must say, but over here now I do understand it, and I embrace that light. I welcome each of you today to embrace the light. Look within yourselves, call upon us, and we will open the doorways of perception, and you will come to know that you also are beings of light. Each of you are called to be light workers, so let that light come through you and uplift your world. Remember that our world and your world are not separate, but are closely aligned, and we are meant to work together. So let our world, let the spirit world be your ally. Call upon us, and we shall surely be there and assist you. Fletcher says the medium's power is fading, so I must be stepping from our medium's vibration. But my dears, before I go, let me again thank you for your kindness in receiving me today. And I do hope that wherever you are, that you will come to know that you are loved by our will. Hey Tubies, Psychic Bob here. Well, I'm back from channeling, and always amazing. When I go into trance, I feel like an electric current come through my body, and there's a power that emanates. Spirit people are amazing, and I love them. And I'm so honored that they choose me to be their vessel. If you've enjoyed today's channeling, you might want to pop over to my website, pick up my book, Messages from Rose. This talks about my work as a trance channel, as a medium. I think you'll really like it. While you're over there, we've got other books too. I have a number of books that I've written and published. This one's called Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom also. It's about my journey as a psychic and has a lot of wonderful artworks in it. And I think you'll really enjoy this book as well. So pop over to my website. I'm going to put the link below. Well, guys, thank you for being here. I'm always honored to channel for you. I hope this has been a blessing to you today. And anyways, hope you'll keep it here at Spirit Channel. Tell me in the box below, have you been doing any channeling? Have you had any experiences with the spirit world coming to help you? I'd love to hear about it. And tell me, if you enjoy hearing from the spirit guides. So I thank you for being here. You're the best. I love you guys. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We'll be back here tomorrow on Sunday, Day of the Sun. We'll have some fun vlog, or maybe we'll go somewhere. Just be back here. We'll see you then. Guys, listen, if you want to help me out also, like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, and hit the bell also so you'll get updates. Be part of our channel. We'd love you to be here. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, may you always blessed be.